never been held accountable for saying if you do COVID shots, you won't get COVID. They said you will not carry the virus if you do the shot. We know that's not true. We know people got it. And the most recent booster, this bivalent booster, they approved it based on a study of mice, and it wasn't even a human trial. And then they said, take the bivalent booster. Every study that's been come out, you are more likely to get infected if you've had the bivalent. That's just the facts. And so you've got to be honest about this stuff. And they were not honest with people. In Florida, what we said was, because, you had Biden trying to mandate it. Biden wanted you, if you have a job, wanted you to choose between putting food on the table or taking the shot. And here's the thing. A lot of people that didn't want to take the shot had already had COVID. There is something called natural protection and natural immunity, and they wouldn't recognize that. So to have the federal government, not through an act of Congress, which I'm not sure Congress has authority to do it, but just unilateral bureaucratic executive action saying you don't get to put food on your table because you're not willing to do what we say with respect to a shot. And that's something that we won in court on one of them. The medical one, they won in court. I told my hospitals, we're not surveying you on this, and we're not going to participate with the federal government. I don't want my nurses losing jobs because they're worried about having to do this. That is fundamentally wrong. And so you had government trying to force this, and basically a massive invasion of your liberty to say you can't even hold a job. But what we also saw is corporate America trying to impose. I mean, think about it. You're like at an accounting firm, and they're going to tell you what shots you have to take. We've never gone down that road before in American history. So we called when we saw that happening, we called the special session of the legislature. We said, no matter who you work for, government, private sector, don't worry, nobody in Florida has to choose between a shot they don't want and a job that they need. That's your choice to make, and we're going to protect that. And the fact that the government was willing to go through those lengths, the fact that corporate America, Disney was trying to do it in Florida, we had to put the kibosh on that, other entities were trying to do it, for a shot that was under emergency use was a gross violation of power. And none of this stuff, one of the things I've been promising to do, and I'm the only guy that can do it, is have a reckoning for all this COVID stuff. Because government power was abused. We have to understand that. Go back to the 15 days to slow the spread and all the lockdowns that went in some parts of the country for a long time. It did not work. We have to be honest about that. It failed to stop the spread, and people ended up getting infected anyways, but it did huge damage to this country. When I was in San Francisco, some of those businesses have been boarded up since the COVID lockdowns. You look at other major cities, some of them have not recovered since COVID. Florida, we have way more people employed than we did pre-COVID. That's not true for a lot of these other places. The learning loss that happened across this country with kids not being in school, the violations of freedom with respect to vax, somebody taking a vax and then having a reaction. First of all, if you're forcing this on somebody, they have a reaction, you should have to pay the damages for any health problems they have. I mean, give me a break. So we got a lot to do with the medical swamp. But here, just the final comment on the reason why I think we're in this predicament is these elite institutions have been corrupted by politics and ideology. And it's about advancing an agenda more than it is about what really matters. These COVID restrictions and mandates were not about your health. It was about them controlling your behavior. That's what they were trying to do. And that does not have a place here. So we're going to go in. You're going to see huge changes to those agencies. We're not going to have our entire medical system run by the pharmaceutical companies. We're going to make sure that people's individual autonomy is respected. All right, guys, thank you all. God bless. Appreciate it.